There's four of us here, which I think is considered a majority or a quorum. Okay. Uh, We have nobody in the audience, so I'm not going to ask. Do I have a motion to remove either of the items from the consent agenda? Hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the meetings and the budget and the consent agenda?
To approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
A second for. All right, so I guess we'll move right into staff reports. I assume Tyler, that's your staff?
Hey, so good evening, everyone. What we have before you tonight is just some general updates on some projects happening around the district. So feel free to ask any questions. I'm going to go through these fairly quickly here. Our first topic here, the Gale Hotel. We received an update that the firm that was looking at the site had eventually pulled out of the sale due to the current owner renewing the lease with the bar currently occupying the ground space. So as far as we know, the building's no longer on the market. Next is 430 Main, the site of the former Seven Star gas station. It's currently undergoing the redevelopment process. The commercial use will likely be a gas station and convenience store. The state's been working directly with our building department and the project managers to figure out kind of the best way to proceed with that since it's such a unique situation. But we still expected that project to move forward, and you may have seen recently that they're still doing work on the site.
What's the status on it right now? Are they able to continue with their construction or are they hung up with DEQ requirements?
I don't think the issue right now is not DEQ requirements. It's mainly focused on just the building and fire and life safety requirements that they're trying to work through since they have a gas station in proximity to the housing. And so it's just something
I
that
saw the tanks get pulled out of the ground and stuff, so I was just wondering if there was some environmental issue that was uh, causing some sort of issue with it.
yeah, there's not any that I'm aware of.
Okay.
And so again, like project is still making progress, and so hopefully construction can begin in earnest soon.
Good. Thank you.
At 325 Main, the site of the former Hong Kong restaurant, still in the process of redevelopment into an auto zone. New property owners have taken ownership of the property, and the site plan is currently under review. And then once approved, demolition and construction will likely begin.
The building and
Yes,
Okay.
they're gonna demolish the building and completely rebuild. At 811 Main, as I'm sure you could visually see when you drive by, the site of the former antique mall was provided a grant from the Oregon Main Street Revitalization Grant Program in the amount of $265,000. And they're using that funding for a full restoration of the historic facade, which again is very visually apparent now. And that's going to be a very exciting restoration process. Lastly, with 791 Main Street, staff and our consultant have been meeting individually with prospective developers to facilitate conversations about potential development at the site. And currently, staff's proceeding with evaluating two submissions that we've received before entering into an exclusive negotiating agreement with one of those teams. And that process is still ongoing, and the agency will be evaluating those at their October 20th meeting.
so we're kind of still at a wait and see until after that report comes back and the committees come up with some sort of agreement as to what they're going to do.
So what the exclusive negotiation agreement means is we'll be selecting one of those two developers and entering into a period of just exclusively negotiating with them, which is when they will do the due diligence on their side, and then we will work with them on that. And then from there, if there is a path forward for them to begin development, then we would move forward with the process of signing a development agreement, and then they would be taking over the property and beginning development soon after that. You answer for that, Charlie?
Not during the negotiation process.
No, I'm not saying that. Once the developers are determined,
Yeah, it's at least 6 to 7 months away from that.
let's,
Yes, so we haven't discussed who they're meeting with. It's
I'd like to have you keep that in mind if possible. I think this committee would be interested in hearing what they have in mind and stuff like that.
Are they both still, I mean, their proposal is still for a hotel, or has that changed?
No, both of the proposals that we've had are for multifamily housing and not a hotel. The feedback we received from one of the developers who might have been interested in a hotel is there isn't really a plausible way for it to pencil out right now. But multifamily development is easier to pencil out with commercial on the ground floor. So again, during the visioning process, that was kind of like a preference A, preference B. And so we're going to be moving forward with this. And so the feedback we've received both from the developers and generally from the kind of the market by not receiving initial proposals is multifamily might be the better fit for the site.
Still like 4 or 5 story, or?
Can you repeat? I missed. You said the city council is going to be choosing between one of the two proposals in their next meeting? Or is that a staff choice?
So staff will be evaluating the applications and be presenting both of them with a recommendation for the agency to enter into the exclusive negotiation agreement with. So that's what our consultant's been helping us with right now is evaluating both of the proposals and then through that determining a not so much a score, but a way to evaluate the proposals to allow us to make a clear recommendation to the council on which one we believe is the stronger out of the two.
Oh, I just wanted to update on my own property, for the seismic is going to be done October 16th. The welders have to come in and do some welding. We have to have a engineer oversee all of that. Hopefully it'll be done that day and then be inspected by the city. That's the very last thing that has to be done on seismic. And then I think my grant can be completed by 11/13 that I have. And then I'm going to try to get it painted on the outside before the bad weather comes. I already have bids and chosen a painter, and we're just waiting for seismic to get done.
No fires interfering with your,
I think we're done with fire season. It's crossed.
yeah. Anything else? Tyler, you have anything else?
That's all we have.
So all of the building improvement grant money will not be used. So will you open another cycle for that? Is that what's
Yeah,
going to happen?
we anticipate that the building improvement grant program will open another cycle probably November, December timeframe, probably late November, if not early December. And then allow for an application period during that time. And then depending on the applications received, score them, get them presented to the agency. That way those projects would be ready to begin building once spring started.
Well, if that's it, member comments? Next meeting will be October 7th. That's today. November 4th. Okay. Oh, I'm on the wrong agenda. November 4th. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Well, in that case, hearing nothing else. Meeting